First thing to do, teleport, SSG, teleport back, and then shoot, put that cyber into telefrag position, and then go. So he just kind of has to be a little bit to the right. So pretty much just around this area is where you want him before you take that teleporter. Now I got a peekaboo, chain gun these chain gunners down. And I step forward, hit this guy with some SSG. Now I can get zapped by those archviles during that little pass, but that's okay. Most of the time it doesn't happen. So I just SSG him until I drop down to 30 shells, and then I switch to chain gun because I want to use all 50 of these shells on the archvile so I can take them out. So at first, when I first routed this, I wasn't going to get the SSG. I wasn't going to do that whole teleport path. I was just going to take the teleporter, run down here, let the cyber hopefully shoot the chain gunners. The route was pretty messed up. Alright, we're going to go up and down here because the camera works that way. But without the SSG, the other thing I was going to have to do was run down this thing as fast as possible because these archviles can just zap me and kill me at any point if I was going to be doing it that way. So good thing some people in chat let me know that the SSG exists. I had no idea. And then down there I was just gonna try to get that cyber to shoot and infight with those guys. It was a pretty messed up route considering how the second half of this map is. So anyway, this switch crushes the cybers. The first switch I pressed there opens the way to the next area. But first we need to deal with a little spot down here with the rocket launcher. This is actually harder than it needs to be. It's very hard to find cover from this archvile, so it's really nice that he just decided not to target me there. I had like streaks of just dying there, streaks of doing well there too, but oh well. Alright, now for this little icon of sin part. So I just keep, there's just gonna be a ton of crap just spawning in, and I just keep on running around. Pretty much the biggest threats here are pain elementals, specters, and archviles. And I say specters because I'll be like walking around thinking everything is fine. All of a sudden I'm stuck and I can't move and I'm getting pelted down by arachnotrons and crap. So whenever I see a specter spawn in, or I even suspect that there is one, I'll try to just spray down the entire direction that he's in. Oh, and actually let me go ahead and change up the hood. So when I get to this area, I change the hood to this hood for a couple reasons, and I'll show really with the platforming on the way out of here. But for now, I would have to like change the HUD under pressure of all of these guys, so I just didn't want to be dealing with that. So I would change the HUD before I teleport in here. And otherwise, whenever this place just gets in general just too crowded like this, try to clear out just a little bit of space. Considering the amount of ammo that's in here, I probably could be spamming a lot harder than I am. And I started to think that near some of the later attempts. I think if I didn't get it today, I was definitely going to explore some of that. But I guess if you want to max it, probably definitely consider that, because there's also some cells in the next area that I never make use of. Like I always fill up my BFG before I leave here. So in general, I think this area could be a lot easier if you just spam. And having a lot of distance BFGs there, sometimes you just have your tracers go off like way later because your BFG balls went in between everything. Also arachnotrons. I feel like when there's a good amount of arachnotrons, I feel like just taking them all out and just start spamming. Alright, but now you see those candles over there. So pretty much there was a wall right there that lowered, so I'm paying attention. As soon as it lowers, I go. And if you see those platforms down there, like I need the extra field of view so I can line this up well, and I need to go quickly. And I just hold forward and I should take that teleporter just fine. Alright, now this part, so I go pretty fast here. The pressure is on because those imps can mess up my movement, make things just a little bit inaccurate there. But yeah, I almost screwed it up there. But with some confidence, let's go all in, go quickly there. I did lose a good amount of attempts there. I lost a good amount of attempts to the second half. Don't you worry. There is a cyber all the way across that's shooting. Luckily, we don't see any rockets here, but sometimes I do have to wait there just a little bit, let the rockets fly by. And this diagonal section is pretty brutal. I think that it would be much better if I just opened the map and positioned myself in a good way, but I didn't want to do that. I was like, screw it. I think if I lost enough attempts, then that's usually how it goes. Then you consider playing a little bit safer. Yeah, I usually, like, when I get to here, I just do that all in one fluid motion. But I saw that rocket there, so I stopped a little bit. Same with these. I don't do this in a fluid motion usually. That one, I find that one more difficult than the earlier area, the earlier turn. I know this part. So, yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. Yes. I lost at least 7 or 8 runs to that guy. You just have to have a really good understanding of your position exactly on the platform. So like I think from what I remember, I was a little bit to the right on that platform, so I knew as soon as he shot, I'm gonna move a little bit left and right and left and kind of dodge that way. You have just barely enough BFG. All right, now we're gonna pull up the map so I can show you how I line this up. So you see the two like sets of lines there at the back side of the arrow? That's pretty much what I'm lining up. Let's get the follow mode. So I'm doing that one more time, same thing, just that part where it branches there. I line that up with the edge of the platform. Not exactly, but yeah. And then this, I get the front of my arrow to line up with that, and then I jump and then stop myself. And then for this, I got this hood. I back up a little bit so I don't just instantly fall off. But I got this hood. I just kind of see where the platforms are for that particular part. Now for these crushers, I need a really good cycle because I lost an attempt here because you can really just die from getting crushed a good amount of times, just because of how like you'll be waiting for the next crusher to move so you can jump. So you'll just be standing still there, and it's like, oh, I gotta stand still and take like an extra round of crusher. So I was waiting for a really good cycle, and this one looked pretty good. I could get these two without getting crushed. So yeah, just as many of them like up high as you can manage. And yeah, that one just had to do 10 damage before I got across. Now these last couple, yeah, so I actually died to this next platform because of bad cycle. But luckily, finally I got through here with 25 health. But there's not really much of a threat to your survival at this point, which is good. As soon as you get through those crushers, man. Those crushers were pretty tough in practice too. So I only lost one really to the crushers. I lost another one in that section. I just screwed up the jump. Just plain old didn't line it up well. But that's okay. There is a lot of pressure on me when I'm at that point because I didn't get a lot of runs past that cyber. I think it was 3 runs past that cyber. So yeah, now this part. So this is fun. So if you step on the black, you die. I'm not 100% sure how lenient it is, but I wasn't taking any chances, so I would get close to the turn point, and I turn and then use kind of the mouse movement. So we're going to speed things up here because it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but here we are at the crusher. So I push up against the crusher, and then once I feel that it's risen up, I'll go ahead and use the mouse movement to adjust myself and to move on. So same thing right over here. So push up against the crusher, well, almost, and then use the mouse movement, and then we're across. Now this is the hard part right here. So I don't have all the time in the world to line up this turn at the end of this. So I go in and I step forward quickly. Yeah, so I actually almost screwed that up. I remember, like, in that moment, I was feeling the mouse. Oh, before that, I need to pre-fire some rockets because there's gonna be some imps. I just want to take them out before they come down and start throwing a bunch of projectiles, just for speed, really. But yeah, so and that's it. Like, I just got to be careful just on the way back, just make sure not to screw up the situation. But yeah, I really felt like I was going to screw it up because when I was holding on to the strafe key, which is my right click, so I was holding right click, and I was trying to move over, but just under the nerves. Like I really lost my nerve, and I started like shaking, just moving it left and right. Not really shaking, but I was moving it left and right, just trying to adjust myself. I'm like, oh no, am I about to lose it to this crusher right at the end? But luckily, this was the first attempt past the section down there with the crushers, and then that was it. So I totally understand if you guys don't want to play this map. That is a ton of platforming to deal with, plus dealing with that cyber. So the thing is, actually, for UV speed, all you would have to do, I don't think you even need to get up on that imp ledge way over there. You really just need to run past that cyber, because he's got an exit teleporter right behind him. So if you can just get past that part of the platforming, maybe use the side platforms to dodge down there, and just run past the cyber, you can exit. So you don't have to deal with this dropping down kind of platforming. You don't have to deal with killing him on the tiny area there. But if you want to max it, you gotta get these 4 imps. So that was fun. I enjoyed myself, because a lot of times, because I've done plenty of demos where it's like I gotta do a fight under pressure, but I think a lot of these where I have to do movement under pressure have been interesting me lately. So I'm glad I did this one, and it was a table fill. Nobody's done it yet, so we'll see if somebody wants to optimize this a little bit further. You could probably do a much earlier cycle on those crushers if you're just faster in general. Otherwise, maybe that ridiculous no SSG route, maybe that could be done at some point if somebody got really good at that second half. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Till next time, peace.